is heating up with the Steelers lost to the Eagles. Their division lead is now just one game over the Ravens. Pittsburgh struggled offensively on Sunday, managing only 163 total yards, their fewest in a game since 2010. Lamar Jackson shined against the Giants, recording his sixth career 5-TD game in a dominant win. He also became the first quarterback in Ravens history to post multiple 30-touchdown seasons. According to our analytics, Baltimore now has a 30% chance to win the division. And finally, the big story heading into Sunday, Deontay Johnson eligible to return after serving a one-game suspension to face his former team. However, he has reached an agreement with the Ravens to excuse him from team activities after reportedly refusing to enter Baltimore's game against the Eagles. So much going on in the NFL, Shannon. As a former Raven, is this situation something or nothing?
No, because he's a Jag. He's just a guy. That's not Derrick Henry. That's not Lamar Jackson. That's not Zay Flowers. That's not Marlon Humphrey or Hamilton. That's not one of those guys. He's a guy. But I just want to know when did this become fashionable? When would this become in vogue? Nah, I'm good. I ain't going to the game.
That's what I mean. That's why I said to you, there's like so much happening, and I don't understand this. Am I getting that old?
Yeah.
That I'm like, these young kids, I can't, but like, that's what it feels like, though.
But we've coddled them so much. They've always gotten what they wanted, Stephen A. They've always been the guy. Mm-hmm. And then all of a sudden, I'm not getting the playing time. I'm not getting the opportunities. I'm not getting the targets. What's the problem? Well, I'm just going to go home. I ain't got no ball to take home with me. I'm just going to go home. I'm not going in the game. I don't know when that happened, how it happened.
And announcing it.
Yeah.
Yes. But in professional football. Like, this is coaches, beyond me.
But for them, for this to get out, Kyle Shanahan was quick to the podium.
Yes.
Devontae, he didn't want to go back in there. He said he didn't feel it. He didn't want to go back in the game.
Yeah.
And Deontay, same thing. But you see what happened? Had this issue in Pittsburgh. Teams will tolerate you until they can replace you.
Yeah.
Sure. Remember that. That's just not football teams. That's on any job. You can be great. They're going to tolerate said behavior until they can replace said behavior. And then they're going to move on.
Yeah. What happened to grin and bearing it?
Well, let me say this. Let me come at you from a reporter's standpoint.
Okay.
If I'm covering the Baltimore Ravens, Baltimore Sun, really, really good newspaper, what have you. I know a lot of people that's worked there throughout the years. If I'm covering the Baltimore Ravens, I walk into the locker room. I'm just telling you what I would do. The kind of reporter I was, I'd walk in and I'd find you.
Okay.
I'd find somebody like that and I'd be like, yo, Shannon, here's what I got to say. I don't think this brother should be on this team. I draw a distinct difference between somebody who tells you before the game that they can't play, they can't go for you, and somebody who does it in the middle of a game.
Correct.
Because when you walk out there on the field, you ain't thinking about nothing like that as a teammate.
No.
You're thinking that you got everybody that's wearing your uniform is that I actually support collusion. It's the one thing where I was like, if owners sat up there and said, I don't want somebody like that on my team. I don't blame them.
Yeah.
Because if you're going to quit on your teammates, I can't trust you. I would walk up to you and say, yo, Shannon, am I out of pocket saying that? What would you say to me?
I would say,
as a reporter, what would you say to me?
I would say, Stephen A., look, that's our brother. We love him, but we respect the team's decision to do what they did. He gave them no choice. Now, we're going to move forward. We wish Deontay the best, but right now he's not on this team, and I can only concern myself with the guys that are in this locker room. So my concern right now is everybody that's in this locker room. Everybody that's not inside this locker room, that's no longer my concern.
And I would follow up with this question. But you didn't tell me I was wrong for saying. I was wrong for saying.
No, you're not wrong.
Got it. And that's what I would ask.
I understand.
Right.
A lot of people feel that same way.
Right.
Trust me. I ain't going to tell you I feel the exact same way.
Right.
But when you here's the thing. You get to control said actions, Molly. You don't get to control the consequences that come because of your actions.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times people try to control both actions and consequences. Man, they ain't have to do me like that when you didn't have to do what you did. You control what you did. Now you don't get to control what happens after
I think people don't, we got to go, but I think people don't think about the long game as much.
And I brought up asking him that question because a lot of reporters do that. They like say, you can't say it, but this is how I feel. Am I wrong?
Yeah.
And that's what you're looking for.
That's slick by you. That's a good tip for everyone out there.
I'm
I'll
giving
use
tips.
that.
I am.
They would actually clinch the division. The Steelers would be the champions of the AFC North with a win. However, if they were to lose, that race would be up for grabs. Our analytics say it would be essentially a toss-up with 2 games left. And I'll just say that the Steelers then have to turn around and play the Chiefs on Christmas Day. Now, we don't know exactly what the status of Patrick Mahomes is going to be.
Chiefs are going to just forfeit that
game.
Play. But no reason to even play it.
But here's the bottom line. They still, our analytics still give them a 70% chance to win that division. I have to admit I'm surprised by that. I thought that Sunday's game said as much about the Steelers as it did about the Eagles. I think that the Steelers' offense, to some degree, has been exposed. They are, and I know you're going to say his name, so reliant on one player.
Yeah.
And that's all we talk about in the NFL are teams that can overcome this and overcome that. The Lions basically have the entire phone book on the injured list, and you're telling me that without George Pickens, the Steelers have no chance to do anything.
Yeah, I mean, that's the facts. I mean, against good teams, right? Against good teams.
Well, basically, they had to play the Ravens.
I mean, they were not out of the game against the Eagles. The Eagles dominated the possession in the second half. We talked about it. Steelers only had the ball twice in the second half, and one of those times they fumbled.
Yeah.
Right? If they don't fumble, then maybe it's a game. But the Steelers have to win a certain way. They have to win with the run game and with their defense. They're not going to do what the Lions and the Bills did to each other the other day. They don't have that capability. Yeah. So when they run into somebody who can do what Philly can do, or Buffalo, or that's why I think there's a ceiling on how far they can go.
Well, that's the point. And so my friend and crazy uncle Rex Ryan says on Sundays and on Mondays with me here on this show, he wants to see more of Justin Fields in their offense to diversify the attack, to see at least some of him, because it creates a different opportunity in the running game. But you of all people who want to run the football, Jeff, why in the world? They ran it effectively.
You can't go it further than 10 yards.
Right.
That's a problem. Explosive plays matter in the NFL. Russell Wilson gives you the ability to have more explosive plays. If you tell me I'm going to have a package for Justin Fields in the red zone, and we're going to have some zone read concepts and some triple option type concepts, that's great. We'll have a little package. But Russell Wilson gives them the best chance to win. And this whole idea that every running quarterback gives your offense a better chance to run. That's like there's no argument in that. It does not necessarily give you a better chance to win games. Russell Wilson gives them the best chance to win games, whether you like him, dislike him, however it folds out. I love Justin Fields, but the reality is the Steelers' offense doesn't struggle running the ball because of Russell Wilson. It's because of their running backs and offensive line.
Quickly, Cindy, put the picks up. You still believe the Steelers are going to win the division?
Yeah, I mean, I think that the Ravens will beat them this weekend, but I think the Steelers will knock off. I think the Steelers will knock off KC and the Bengals their final weeks of the season, which will hold on.
You think the Steelers are going to beat Kansas City on Christmas Day?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they match up pretty well against Kansas City, particularly when Kansas City's weak link is protecting the passer. You know what the Steelers specialize in? All across that front. They got great pass.
Listen, they give the Ravens all kinds of. They give Lamar Jackson fits.
They beat him earlier this year.
But I think
without scoring a touchdown.
Yeah, kicking all field goals. Don't underestimate the Steelers.
They got a good kicker.
Yeah. If they win this week, then the division is over. They win, and then they can start figuring it out from there. Okay, breakfast time, pancakes.
Let's go.
Pancakes is one of our favorite things.
So let me show you how we're going to get this thing started. We're back, baby! Bam, bam, bam. We're about to crank this up.
Let's go.
That's how we start this off. Get some of this.
It's a thing of beauty.
You can't stop us, lady. You can't stop us.
Dominique Foxworth just spanked pancakes on dinner.
Receive it.
Can we do one more pick? I got it. Sat 'em Down is brought to you by IHOP. Dominique, get us started if you would be so kind. All right, Jeff.
By the way, Graziano, we got to get him a wagon. Brandon, get him a wagon so we can wheel him around.
Graz has a back.
His back is awful. Hey, this is a nasty week for Pancake Show. We see some hits. We're cranking this thing up. Tyler Smith with the Cowboys. Watch up, Tyler. Chin music. That's what he gave him. He gives it to him, lays him out, knocks him down. Hey, don't look now. The Cowboys playing some physical football. I love Tyler Smith, but he gave him the business end of that, and I love it. It's a forearm and a shove. The only thing you got to do, jump on him, dog. He's down on the ground, jump on him, make him remember it. One pancake because you didn't make him remember it. You always got to make him remember. Come back and watch more if you want to know what I'm talking about. Darnell Washington, Steelers, right here. Getting him, driving him all the way. Listen, takes him all the way, runs him into the soft part of the wall, puts him in. We're not going to show it because there's violence. The NFL doesn't like it all. He's throwing punches. Listen, I love this about Slay. Slay throws a punch. You should. You just got walked all the way back into the eagle, all all your fans are hearing it. That right there is a mismatch. I loved it. Washington, 2 pancakes for that. He's a little guy, but you taking him all the way to the fans and the cheap seats, I respect the heck out of that right there. And now we're finishing this thing up, and everybody saw this. Kevin Dotson, look, watch this. 1, get it. 2, get it. Oh, my goodness. Y'all,
He was ready to
how
get that guy,
nasty
too.
is this? Give him 1, knock him down, give him 2, and my man gives a roll and then a pop-up. That is as pretty as you can be. Let me tell you something. McVay highlights and circle. And by the way, these dudes, none of them like each other. Not even a little bit. So for him to knock 2 down, 3 pancakes, baby, that is nasty. Kevin Dotson, my man.
That was a good week.
That's a good week.
A good week of cakes. By the way, that's a good-looking belt. Neek is looking sharp today.
I got this belt, man. I forgot mine. So Greeny lent me one of his. I think
lent
it
him a
cost
belt?
about
I did.
A little self-promo.
$3,000. What you pay for this belt, Greeny?
It looks way better on you than it does on me, which is